A major shock shook the international music world in just a matter of minutes. A confession linked to Taehyung startled the public because for the first time the real reason behind Jungkook's shocking decision to leave BTS was implied. How could it be that, in the midst of BTS's status as the most influential group in the world, one of its members actually unveiled a truth that had been tightly locked away? The inevitable question now arises: what really happened behind the dazzling stage they always displayed, and why is it Taehyung who is considered the key answer? The public was left tense by the news that the confession appeared suddenly, without warning, as if challenging those who had chosen to remain silent all this time. Fans' reactions immediately exploded. Within minutes, speculation took over social media. Among the rumors, the most striking thing was HYB's stance of complete silence, even though the public demanded immediate clarification. Is this silence actually a sign that there is truth behind Taehyung's statement? Or is it just a strategy to defuse the situation? Suspicion only grew stronger. Circulating sources hinted that the relationship between Jungkook and management had long been under tension. However, until now, it had always been covered up by the narrative of BTS's global success. Taehyung seemed to lift that curtain with words that were not to be taken lightly, that Jungkook's decision was not merely a personal choice, but the result of pressure he could no longer endure. How could an artist with extraordinary achievements, known as the Golden Magne, finally choose such a drastic step that shook the entertainment world? This question haunts fans worldwide. The signal conveyed by Taehyung triggered deeper questions. If it is true that Jungkook left because of reasons that had been hidden all along, why is the public only hearing about it now? Why does HYB remain silent even though the accusations are spreading widely? Speculation ran wild, from alleged internal conflict to pressure stemming from differences in vision between Jungkook and the company. Yet, in the midst of all the speculation, the public was once again fixated on Taehyung's emotional expression. His tears, which he struggled to conceal, added emotional weight to a statement considered one of the most critical moments in BTS's history. HYB's silence became even more questionable. Usually, any major issue related to BTS would quickly be balanced with clarification or at least a brief explanation to ease fans' concerns. But this time, not a single word was spoken. Is this a sign that the issue exposed by Taehyung is too serious to be covered with a standard narrative? Or is HYB preparing a bigger step that will be even more shocking? No one knows for sure, but this uncertainty only amplifies the wave of anger and sadness among ARMY. Meanwhile, several clips circulating on social media only reinforced public suspicion. These clips showed Taehyung's gestures full of burden, as if carrying a secret too heavy to keep any longer. The words he delivered were brief, but left a deep wound for fans. Jungkook left not because of a simple reason, but because of something far more complicated. However, he did not specify what he meant, leaving room for speculation wide open. Is there personal conflict? Is this related to HYB's business strategy? Or are there other factors deliberately hidden from public view? ARMY's emotional wave became increasingly uncontrollable. Thousands of comments flooded timelines, with tones of disappointment, anger, but also deep sympathy for Jungkook and Taehyung. Many considered this confession proof that something had indeed been wrong in the relationship between BTS members and their management. Painful questions emerged. If BTS had always been portrayed as a solid unity, why is there such a massive crack inside? And why was the truth revealed only after Jungkook chose to leave? The impact of Taehyung's confession did not stop within the fandom circle. International media began to turn their eyes to the issue, highlighting how a music group with global power could be dragged into such troubling internal drama. Analyses began to emerge. Is this the end of BTS's golden era, or the beginning of a new rise triggered by the members' frankness? Yet one thing is certain. HYB's silence will only worsen the situation because the public sees silence as equal to admitting. Tension rose further when additional claims surfaced from anonymous accounts stating that Taehyung's statement was only a small part of a much larger truth. According to them, Jungkook had long shown signs of exhaustion not only physically, but also emotionally from pressure coming from many directions. If this claim is true, then leaving BTS was not a sudden decision, but the accumulation of suffering that had been hidden all along. Did Taehyung deliberately give a code so the public would know what happened, even at great risk to himself? With every passing minute, this issue grew hotter. ARMY around the world are not only waiting for answers, but also demanding justice. They feel entitled to know the real reason because without ARMY support, BTS would not have reached the global peak they stand on today. Yet that answer seems deliberately locked by those who hold full control over the narrative. HYBE remains silent, as if hoping this storm will subside on its own. But the question is, can a storm this big truly vanish without a trace? Taehyung's statement created a major dilemma. On one hand, he is seen as a hero for daring to reveal something long hidden. But on the other hand, there are fears that this move could backfire, both for himself and for Jungkook. Many suspect HYBE's silence is because they are preparing legal steps or new strategies to deal with the impact of this confession. If that is true, then this drama is far from over. It has only just begun. Now, the public is trapped in a situation full of question marks. Jungkook has left, Taehyung has spoken, HYBE remains silent. These three elements create a narrative that is complex, full of contradictions, yet endlessly intriguing. Is there truly a hidden reason that cannot be openly disclosed? Or is this all just part of a bigger strategy? Clearly, every second that passes without an answer only strengthens the belief that there is something the public is not meant to know. In this situation of uncertainty, one thing is certain: the emotional impact left on ARMY. Tears, anger, and a sense of loss blend together. They not only lost Jungkook as part of BTS, but also lost trust in the narrative they had faithfully followed all this time. And if HYBE continues to remain silent, it is not impossible that this sense of loss will turn into far greater resistance. Every second after the statement linked to Taehyung spread, the world seemed no longer the same. The public's intensely emotional reaction proved that the issue of Jungkook's departure from BTS is not just entertainment news, but has turned into a global debate. Yet, amid the flood of information filling digital spaces, a much deeper question must be asked. Does this statement truly reflect reality, or is it merely a construct deliberately created to spark controversy and attract media attention? Shouldn't we pause for a moment to weigh, analyze, and question the truth of every detail we receive? The fact that this information spread through social media such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other platforms raises a serious dilemma. Are these media credible enough to be primary references, or do they merely serve as amplifiers of unverified issues? How can we be sure that video clips, short quotes, or anonymous comments really come from legitimate sources and not from digital manipulation? Are we, as readers, willing to surrender our critical thinking to algorithms that only chase sensation and views? This phenomenon shows how fragile the boundary between fact and fabrication has become. If Taehyung truly revealed the reason behind Jungkook's departure, why is there no full recording that can be verified for authenticity? Why is it that only short clips circulate, often without full context, making them easy to interpret according to certain interests? Does this not raise the fundamental question: are we witnessing the truth, or are we merely being served an illusion carefully arranged to steer public opinion? Undeniably, ARMY's reactions of tears, anger, and disappointment demonstrate how powerful the emotional impact of this issue is. But do these emotions arise from objective truth, or are they the result of provocation from an exaggerated narrative? Are those tears a form of genuine solidarity, or a reflection of trust too quickly given to unproven information? Are we not, in fact, at a critical point where feelings and facts blend without clear boundaries? HYBE's silence, which until now has not produced a single word, only worsens the atmosphere. But the question is, does silence indicate something is being covered up, or is it actually a form of firmness not to respond to issues deemed baseless? How can we interpret silence? Is it proof, or simply a communication strategy? And if there truly is a major truth being hidden, why is the information surfacing from social media instead of channels that can be professionally verified? We must dare to ask further. Why is this news appearing now, and why with such a dramatic narrative? Is it coincidence, or is there a hidden agenda behind it? Is this a way to shift public attention from another more important issue? Or is it merely a game by certain parties who understand that the names Jungkook, Taehyung, and BTS are the strongest commodities to generate profit from global attention? Amid the flood of speculation, we are faced with a moral obligation to be skeptical. Is this information truly born of reality, or is it a hoax neatly wrapped in emotional packaging to appear convincing? Hasn't the history of modern media shown repeatedly that sensationalism sells more easily than facts? If so, are we willing to become victims of a discourse game that only prioritizes popularity and clicks? The power of social media in spreading this issue cannot be underestimated. But behind that power lies a fundamental weakness: the absence of strict verification mechanisms. If a viral video with big claims can be trusted at face value, does this not mean that anyone can control public opinion with simple digital manipulation? Could it be that we are entering an era where truth is no longer determined by facts, but by how fast an issue goes viral? Army's demands for justice also deserve to be examined critically. Do they truly understand the root of the problem, or are they merely responding to an emotional narrative continuously pushed by social media? Does their solidarity stem from truth, or from an illusion created by certain parties? And if it turns out that all this is merely fabrication, what will the impact be on millions of fans who have poured their emotions into something that may never have happened? We must place these questions into a space of serious reflection. Do we, as consumers of news, truly seek truth, or do we secretly enjoy the sensation of drama that may never be real? Do we genuinely care about Jungkook and Taehyung as individuals, or are we merely turning them into objects of consumption in an industry hungry for controversy? Amid this confusion, one principle must be upheld: caution. Every piece of information circulating on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and similar media should not be accepted blindly without verification. We must dare to restrain ourselves from being swept away by emotion, even when the narrative presented seems convincing. Is it not better to wait for clarity that is verified, rather than being swept up in waves of issues that may collapse instantly once the truth is revealed? Now, the most provocative question that must be posed to readers is this: do you truly believe that Taehyung has revealed the real reason Jungkook left BTS? Or do you realize that all of this could simply be a narrative created to spark a temporary storm? Are you ready to accept the possibility that the news you read, the videos you watch, and the comments you trust are all part of media sensationalism fabrication? And if that is true, are you willing to realize that your emotions have been manipulated for the benefit of others? Such critical reflection is crucial, because without it, we will only become passive victims of an uncontrollable stream of information. The digital world indeed gives us fast access to everything, but that fast access also traps us in a cycle of shallow news consumption, without room for reflection. Shouldn't we refuse to become victims of manipulation by continuously questioning, challenging, and rejecting information without valid evidence? Finally, amid all this tension, readers are faced with a choice. Will you continue to be swept away by issues that may not be true, or will you stand on the side of healthy skepticism? Will you swallow whole a narrative that may be fabricated, or will you dare to challenge this issue with critical questions that demand objective answers? And if those objective answers never come, are you ready to accept the reality that perhaps we are all just spectators in a grand drama that was never real?